Hello and welcome everyone to Olympia. This is week 5. We have a bye week, and we enter the bye week for the first time in a long while, 2-2. Wow, didn't expect that from Olympia. Well, let's take a look at some practice, and then we'll discuss the state of the team. We'll look at recruits and see if we've got something coming in that might change the trajectory this season. And let's first just go ahead and talk about it. The elephant in the room, or the 3 elephants in the room. The quarterbacks. I think we can all agree that quarterbacking has been the weakest part of this roster through 4 weeks so far. Wesley Dunmore has emerged as probably the clear favorite to continue starting, just because he does bring a very good run element to this offense. He's not anywhere near as dynamic as Darius McIntyre was. Not even as dynamic, I would say, as Atari Mason, but he definitely is a decent runner with some speed, a little bit of speed. He's good at the read option. He's a very strong runner. We have had one fumbling incident, I remember, where we were about to score on the series and he fumbled. Other than that, he's been pretty solid. So I think just taking that, and then he also has made good throws here and there. He hasn't been fantastic at throwing the ball, but he's been able to make the occasional throw. I think he has, at least for now, earned the starting spot. Of course, we have Christian Armstrong returning from injury, and he should be cleared to play, I believe, this week. And then you have Roa Latu. So Christian Armstrong, I think, he's got the most talent behind him, but he's so raw. He's got a little speed, but he's definitely not a great runner, I wouldn't say. Those are definitely different things. And he's got a lot of arm level, doesn't have a lot of accuracy. We'll go ahead and look at more of that after we dive into this week's high school games. Northridge, Herriman. How about this return by Northridge here? That's Pierre taking it to the 46 of Herriman. I got to see a few games. Actually got to see one more week as well that I've got footage for. And Herriman, the favorite coming into this year, undefeated to this point in their out-of-district play, and now they're in district. Herriman, let's see a nice throw here. And of course, Herriman has a running back named Adam Henry. You're going to see him right here. He's a fast, good running back. Didn't get a lot of great touches today, actually. Was really bottled up. You can see him in pass pro, though. He's really good. Great in the passing game in general. Really good runner. Touchdown here for Herriman. They were in control a lot of this game, but Northridge would just not go away. Northridge definitely expected to be a little more of a middle-of-the-pack team this year in the district. But Northridge was fighting. Here's a nice throw here. And Northridge has a guy named Zach Brewer you got to watch out for, tight end. Little fumble there on the Herriman quarterback, and suddenly Herriman's at a deficit. They don't usually see that. Nice run for Adam Henry there. Zach Brewer got into the backfield, so Zach Brewer is a big-bodied, really athletic tight end. Think of Ezekiel Roberts, but maybe even a little better in the blocking game. Well, Zach Brewer can also run the ball, apparently, because they're throwing there. Unfortunately for Northridge, this would be the mistake of the game. Comeback is being made. They throw the pick. It gets returned for 6. That would pretty much put Herriman up for a long while here. Zach Brewer still running, still fighting. Northridge having a chance to win this game here. Zach Brewer running a route there out of the backfield. You can bring him in the backfield, kind of like an F blocker. You could have him be split out wide. He's really versatile. Well, ultimately, Herriman would end up holding on to this game. It would end up closer than they expected, though. 17-14. Zach Brewer, much more efficient day running for him. Actually, more efficient than Adam Henry's day. Henry ended up having a lot of negative runs, unfortunately, just due to how porous the Herriman line was. Still, Herriman escapes with a W, and currently Adam Henry is looking at Olympia as one of his preferred destinations. Zach Brewer, it's on the fence. So let's get back to that quarterback discussion, as Roa Latu has been wildly inconsistent. On the best throws Roa Latu makes, they are perfect. I mean, we're talking perfect throws right where you want them. And on the worst throws, like right there, guy is standing still 2 feet in front of him and he can't hit him. Like, Roa Latu, I don't know what to say about the guy. I think he's got the most actual... Christian Armstrong may have the biggest arm, maybe fast, but Roa Latu, I think, has the best upside at quarterback if he can refine his passing mechanics. Now, that was on Zach Schuster for not being open or aware. So I still think what you're going to see is a little bit of rotation between the 3 quarterbacks until somebody separates themselves from the field. We need to know who can throw the ball the best Missed pass there to Ty Crease, who's been open a lot, by the way. Ty Crease getting increased roles in the offense. Looks really good. I just think if you're a guy like Roa Latu, I think he works best with play action. I definitely think he needs to be under center more than he is in the gun. Christian Armstrong, I think, is fine in the gun. Same with Wesley Dunmore, although I think Dunmore also could work with play action and RPOs. These are things that you don't get a lot of at Olympia because we've also been giving up a lot of sacks, it feels like. We haven't really been able to have great pass blocking, and our run game has been so ineffective that the play action has not really been something we could rely on to use. Again, that's another one too that, like, I don't know how you have a guy that runs the first ever 1,000-yard rushing season for a running back in Olympia history, and he is under 200 yards through 4 games. In fact, he's not even close to 200 yards. Kirk Doherty's having a terrible season, and that is not on Kirk Doherty. He might not be the most explosive athlete, but he's definitely really good. I mean, we saw that last year. The line has been horrendous, and I know we've lost a lot of guys. Jason Edwards, Jason Clements, I think Darius Robbins. It's just been a bit rough, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and jump back into high school play. This was Timpview versus Lone Peak. We're going to keep interrupting kind of these practice segments just to kind of show some tape, get a little consistency. Harvey Edwards, one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the state of Utah, had a really nice day here. Good throw from him there, stepping up in the pocket. How about Harvey Edwards pulling it himself, going in? I mean, that's just what he can do with the read option. Lone Peak would run the read option as well here, as Thomas gets this one down to the 32 just about. Back with Harvey Edwards in the offense, and a nice throw here on the post. That goes in for 6. Harvey with 1 rushing, 1 passing, and this is Jake Jackson III. A really, really solid star cornerback. He is not considering Olympia as far as I've understood. Really wants to go to a big school, big name program. Lone Peak's defensive back, probably their best player this game, as really Timpview kind of held on and dominated this one. A little bit of an upset. I think these were 2 teams that are expected to be in the upper half of teams. Lone Peak did break off a really nice run here. Eventually, though, would be brought down. And the final score would end up 31-10 as Harvey Edwards had a fantastic game. 12 for 14 for 162, 1 touchdown, 18 runs for 76 yards, and another touchdown. Harvey Edwards looks like the real deal. And, of course, he is not interested in Olympia either. Not that we would have thought we needed him before the season, but here we are realizing we probably need a guy like that. Well, let's show the final quarterback play at practice, as this was Christian Armstrong at quarterback. That is Ty Crease taking the end around there. Now Terrence Hawthorne in motion. He's going to take the end around. Something I think we've seen a little bit of is getting guys like Lee House in the backfield and guys like Ty Crease doing these kind of sweeps and runs with motion. I think that's really benefited from them. Just being able to get their speed out in space. Kirk Doherty's not able to make things happen because he's going up the middle, and our offensive line has just been abysmal. Get outside the offensive line and let the receivers make the plays, and that's kind of working. You'll see that with we run a lot of screens. I mean, we've just been having to figure out ways to chunk the defense down as best we can and rely on our defense hopefully making plays. It's not winning football. Clearly, because we've lost the last 2 weeks, and they haven't been particularly competitive. Neither week have we ended where we had to use our timeouts in the second half to extend the game. That's how not close they've been. I mean, not that they weren't, they were just straight up blowouts, but there's something definitely broken with this team right now. And if you're wondering why Ty Crease is getting so many of the reps, it is because Lee House is questionable, likely will not be playing in their next game. He suffered a bruised shoulder there, and he will not be probably rushed back anytime soon. Don't want to get him further hurt, especially if he's considering some NFL aspirations. And Ty Crease, very serviceable fill-in for him. It's just at this point, who can step up and be a playmaker? And it really all comes down to quarterback anyway, because if the quarterback can't do it, they are the point guard of the offense. We run our offense through the quarterback. It takes out an entire element of our game if we can't throw the ball to anybody. Hopefully we'll see somebody emerge as a leading candidate this upcoming game here, but I'm just not sure about it. Let's jump into one of our final games in high school as Jacob Holt getting absolutely lambasted here. How about Holy Kalele? Nice tackle. So this one will be a battle of 2 safeties here. Jacob Holt for West Jordan. And West Jordan was favored to beat Pineview in this matchup, and Holy Kalele from Pineview has a really nice play there. Should have been picked off, however. Holy Kalele was everywhere. Jacob Holt also had a pretty nice game, though. Nice tackle in the backfield there. Holy Kalele, again in the pass game, breaks that one up. A few times he could have had a pick, and Holy Kalele is currently between us and Navy. It's down to just those two. Jacob Holt, a little less certain. Unfortunately for Pineview, they would lose this one, and West Jordan would win 10-3. A very defensive battle, but Holy Kalele was really good in this one. We'll go ahead and go one more game. This was our last of the week, and it was our big showstopper of the season. Bingham Herriman, and Bingham getting the pick for 6. Well, maybe not 6, but down to the 15 that they would then score 6 on. Right down to the 1-yard line. Handoff here. Oh, no, they didn't, actually. Herriman with the goal line stand, bailing out their QB. QB rewards him by airmailing a pass that gets picked off inside the 50 again. Adam Henry with a really nice run here. Didn't get hit as many times in the backfield this game, but my goodness, was that run blocking game not doing anything for him. Bingham, nice throw there. Brian Whitworth, the edge rusher for Bingham, didn't have the most loud game, but he did solid, racked up some solid, quiet sacks and tackles. Bingham would go ahead and run this out, though, as an upset happened. Herriman, undefeated on the season, drops to their biggest rival, Bingham, 14-6, with Brian Whitworth having 3 tackles for loss and 1 sack. Adam Henry still not able to find the ground game working, and that is mostly on his offensive line, as Bingham is number 1. West Jordan number 2 currently after that win over Pineview, and that has Herriman 3rd place. A very big shock there as Northridge, and then Pineview, Timpview, Lone Peak, and Highland battle it out for the bottom half. Let's go ahead and look through our recruiting here. Adam Henry currently favoring us. Gordon Lawson, a fullback out of South Ogden, favoring us as well. Zach Brewer is between us and Utah State. That one is competitive, but Utah State clearly has an edge. What I'm hearing, guys like Brandon McIntyre aren't interested. Jacob Holt considering BYU. Holy Kalele, as I was saying, is between us and Navy. A lot of players here that just are favoring other teams in state. Fortunately, we have a few guys looking like Mark Walker, a really high prospect there. Eric Ware is currently down to Utah. Albert Gunn, between us and Utah. Adam Brady is solely us. Guys like Zach Kim. A lot of these guys from the Four Corners, you'll notice. Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico. We're really trying to expand outside of just Utah. Curtis Jackson, however, Utah favorite. John Madsen, Washington State. Samuel Bush, Utah. And then Mike Rutledge, surprisingly, Iowa State making it. And that'll do it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week to start conference play against Cincinnati. Have a good one.